Evening and welcome to the news. As usual, Wednesday package packs an extra punch with stories of community development, accounts of unfolding events in different parts of the country, and updates of issues that have been on the front burner in recent time. Our lenses are focused predominantly on Nigeria and Nigerians as they confront daily challenges, often surmounting them with unique tales of resilience. Tonight, Road to Progress. President Tinubu inaugurates a Aturo Road N16 in the FCT, lists infrastructural development as a key component of his administration's objectives. More succor for Mokwa as Niger State government awards 7 billion naira road project to link the community with different parts of the state. And in Jigawa, the state government and relevant partners are preparing a sturdy bulwark against anticipated floods. But will the waters be deterred? On tourism, Nigeria gets new friends as the nation markets itself during the 68th UN Tourism Commission for Africa Summit. Also tonight, we'll track the top deals in the financial sector and the input of foreign direct investment. A business correspondent, Benny Adams, will be counting every penny, while in sports, Vadia Delaya will be giving an update from the ongoing World Tennis Junior Tours holding in Abuja. It's a loaded package, but don't take my word for it. After all, the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I'm Yanri John, and this is News Extra. Welcome. Now time to hit the road, and of course we begin with the new Abuja Aturo Road, demonstrating his understanding of importance of quality infrastructure to national development. President Bola Tinubu says his administration will continue to invest in infrastructure to stimulate general growth of the country. The president said this as he inaugurated Aturo Road N16, connecting the Shehu Shagari Way with the Wole Soyinka Way, Jahi in Abuja. State House correspondent Musbao Danwahab reports.
The new season of project inaugurations in the FCT continues with the Aturo Road N16. The road, a continuation of the Shehu Shagari Way, starts from the popular Nikon Junction through Gishiri Village and Wole Soyinka Way, Jahi to Katampe. It includes an interchange, 2 bridges, a flyover with street lighting. The 3.7-kilometer dual carriageway was initiated by the current administration and executed in 8 months.
And progress of our people in Nigeria. Thank you very much.
For President Bola Tinubu, this is continuation of commitment to urban transformation by his administration, particularly having realized the underdevelopment of the Abuja Master Plan.
This road will ease traffic, congestion around central Abuja, and improved connectivity to developing districts such as Katampe and Jahi. It will stimulate housing and business growth while serving as a foundation for future city integration. We recognize that our nation's development is linked to the quality of infrastructure, connecting people, cities, and industries. There's no way industrialization will flourish without good roads.
The president appreciated the cooperation of the indigenes in the actualization of the project.
For the first time, they will pay their compensation 200%. I said, look, I don't want anything that will stop the construction of this road. And when they were paid, they not only paid, I made sure that they were given other areas to go and live. The essence of renewed hope is to make you to be happy. You have lost confidence in government. But now the president has said, no, you can't lose confidence. You can't. Government is here to make you happy.
We are so elated to be part of this important great milestone and also tremendous achievement. We say thank you for the continuous support and commitment to the infrastructure development in the federal capital city and also the satellite town and Nigeria at large.
Commemoration of the Renewed Hope administration's second anniversary continues with more projects lined up by the FCT administration for inauguration. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
And still on road infrastructure, Niger State government has awarded contract for the construction of a 12-kilometer road project from Mokwa to Raba, worth 7 billion naira. Mokta will reports that the governor also directed MDAs to undertake a complete survey of the waterways and topography of the state.
Niger State Governor Mohammed Umar Bago disclosed this when he paid an on-the-spot assessment and sympathy visit to the people of Mokwa on the recent flood disaster that killed many and destroyed property worth millions of naira. The road project, expected to commence immediately, will include the construction of 4 bridges to connect the 2 communities of Mokwa and Raba. Governor Umurba directed relevant MDAs to take a survey of the waterways and topography of Niger State with a view to relocating people off waterways to avert a repeat of the disaster.
We have asked that everybody that lives on the water line, especially where we had the unfortunate flood incidents, to be evacuated. We're going to create banks so that people don't build on top of water lines. Unfortunately, we've had a lot of siltation of River Niger, and islands have been formed. A lot of people took it for granted. And this is one of the consequences of when people build on waterways.
A symbolic distribution of relief items was made to selected households. The governor was also in Raba to assess the bridge that was washed away by the flood, where he used the moment to sympathize with the people of the community. In Mokwa, Mokhtar Wu, NTA News.
Meanwhile, learning from the recent flooding disaster in Mokwa, Niger State, a state once synonymous with annual flooding, is now charting a new course marked by resilience, foresight and renewed hope. Muhammad Musa Askira reports on how the Jigawa State government is turning the tides to respond to the 2025 NIMET weather prediction.
For the first time in recent memory, the people of Jigawa could breathe a little easier thanks to deliberate effort by the state government. The devastation from seasonal flooding was reduced. The Nigerian Meteorological Agency, NIMET, had warned of heavy rains, but unlike in previous years, this time the warnings were met not with panic, but with preparations. The heavy rainfalls between August and September last year brought only isolated flash floods, no widespread devastation, no emergency shelters overflowing with displaced persons, and no major roads submerged. Experts credit the government's strategic infrastructure projects. Over 150 kilometers of drainage channels, reinforced dikes across low-lying areas, and community awareness campaigns that empowered locals to act before disaster struck.
The river Kapin House Hadeja is still under dredging, and also the river from Dabi to Guri, we are dredging it, and we are doing it year in, year out. We are working hard throughout the year to see that we have taken preventive measures to ensure that Allah, with the grace of Allah, we are safe from our flooding. Our farmland, our houses, our towns are safe from flood.
Now, as 2025 rainy season approaches, the people of Jigawa are not just hoping, they are preparing, building on the momentum of a state that has turned the tide against the nature's fury.
With the river mitigation, we now have peace of mind and feel safe. All the villages along the riverside are happy with this mitigation and the embankment.
In the face of climate change and unpredictable weather patterns, Jigawa offers a powerful story of resilience, innovation, and above all, hope. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Away from Jigawa State now, let's head to Enugu, where a revitalized primary healthcare center in Ngwogo, Enugu State, has been commissioned by the Executive Director, National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, on behalf of the federal government. During inspection, Dr. Muyi Aino emphasized the need for the facility to have capable personnel and advised the state government to engage the community to ensure the center is utilized effectively for quality healthcare delivery. He also promised to make an unannounced visit to assess the center's professionalism and activities.
But only where there are staff that will use them. So I'm still trying to get a handle on how can we know the staffing situation and how to work with you. Because I won't hire staff for you anymore. We can mobilize resources. We would like to support you.
During inspection, Dr. Muyi Aino emphasized the need for the facility to have capable personnel in line with President Bola Tinubu's directive to provide Nigerians with access to quality and affordable healthcare services. In other news, the 68th UN Commission for Africa meeting is underway in Nigeria, focusing on innovation, artificial intelligence, and creative industries in tourism. Vice President Kashim Shettima called on African countries to adopt policies that promote eco-friendly tourism and emphasize tourism's significance in economic diversification, citing its potential to create jobs, generate revenue, and promote cultural exchange. Gufan Shaji Ugwai brings us details.
As the sounds of the drums echoed through the room and the sway of the body to the rhythm of the songs, the target is simple: to awaken the buried tourism potentials of African countries. The Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, is pushing the conversation about the rich cultural diversity of African countries. He says tourism is beyond just paying a tour visit. It cuts deep into the core of a nation's economic potential.
Apart from its economic value, tourism has the potential to enhance local entrepreneurship and community development by supporting small businesses such as tour operators, local artisans, hospitality providers, and service industries. Tourism creates new opportunities for entrepreneurship.
This year's theme, boosting social impact and education and tourism through AI, innovation and creative industries, underscores this point. But the future of African posterity depends on how boldly we harness our culture, creativity, and technology to empower people.
Meeting is very important. Let's talk, let's discuss, let's argue sometimes about food and make Africa a nice showcase for everyone.
You should see the sector as a sector that can provide development for a new generation and enhance the social consanguinity of our nation.
As the stage is now set at the 68th CAF conference, there's no doubt African member states are ready to look within, highlight Africa's tourism potential to the world, and increase economic benefits across countries. In Abuja, Gufan Shaji Ugwanyi, NTA News.
Let's turn our attention toward the news now, as the entire civil and public service will go paperless by 31st December this year. This is in line with the digitalization policy of the federal government. Head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Didi Esther Wilson-Jack, made this known at a World Press briefing ahead of the 2025 Civil Service Week and the International Civil Service Conference, scheduled for 20th to 28th June in Abuja. Haman Jabane reports that the head of service emphasized the importance of media collaboration in providing Nigerians with accurate and professional reportage.
The first ever International Civil Service Conference is said to be a major highlight of the 2025 Civil Service Week, aims at fast-tracking much-needed transformation in the nation's civil service with the theme Rejuvenate, Innovate and Accelerate. The conference will feature renowned speakers from Asia, Europe and Africa.
Lead a world-class civil service that delivers and accelerates national development.
The event will also serve as a reflection of Nigeria's deep commitment to institutional renewal, human capital development, and the ongoing drive towards a 21st century civil service.
The 2025 Civil Service Week, a significant event in our calendar, will feature a series of spiritually enriching, intellectually engaging, and socially rewarding events designed to celebrate excellence in the public service, reflect on reforms, and promote a unified vision for a stronger civil service.
Responding to questions from journalists, head of the civil service affirmed that the performance management system is on course and digitization effort across the civil service is yielding results, including war rooms and various online platforms. She commended the media for their continued support in recent months and calls for sustainable collaboration and partnership to help inform and engage the Nigerian public effectively. Hamad Jabani, NTA News.
Now time for a break. Please remain tuned. Many thanks for remaining tuned. The 113th International Labour Organization Conference has proven to be both eventful and reassuring, particularly for Nigerian workers. Delegates from Nigeria expressed confidence in the country's renewed commitment to workers' safety, as articulated in a key presentation by the Minister of Labour and Employment, Muhammadu Megari Digyade. Ignatius Unkwo reports.
The annual conference of the International Labour Organization is a forum for appraisal and setting new standards for workers and work environment. Nigerian delegates at the 113th ILO conference are now expressing renewed hope as the federal government renews its commitment to channeling more attention towards this critical sector. Under President Tinubu's administration, efforts are underway to ensure that workers in the informal economy gain access to welfare and compensation schemes similar to those enjoyed in the formal sector.
We need to develop the informal sector so that we can transit more to a formal sector where these things will add more value to the development of Nigeria and again increase the GDP of our country.
Not necessarily migrating them, but providing the sort of benefits that the formal economy gets and derive from initiatives like this employee compensations to ensure that it also works for them.
Employers are also aligning with the government's drive to promote equity and fair treatment across all levels of labor. A major highlight from the 2025 Labour Conference is the International Labour Organization's strong push for the implementation of health, safety and environment, HSE policies in all workplaces, formal or informal, marking a crucial step towards improving conditions for Nigerian workers across board.
It is to the credit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu that jobs have been retained, especially in the public sector. We have close to almost 1 million public employees, and we have not witnessed downsizing, right-sizing, retrenchment. We shouldn't take this for granted.
Well, it's been an exciting session at the 2025 conference of the ILO. That is the 113th session, as the organization also sets standards for the protection and prevention of biological hazards in workplaces. From Geneva, Switzerland, Ignatius Unkwo, NTA News.
Many thanks, Ignatius. Away from Geneva now, as Nigeria marks 26 years of uninterrupted democratic governance since the return to civilian rule in 1999. Political analysts and citizens alike are reflecting on the journey so far. While the road has not been without challenges, many agree that the gains of democracy have far outweighed the pitfalls. Benson Osadebe reports.
Lived in the Greek city-states of Athens and corroborated in the famed halls of the American Capitol building, democracy has garnered strength world over as the most system of administering governance. Little wonder Abraham Lincoln attests to its inclusiveness and describes it as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. For these respondents, gains of democracy in Nigeria goes beyond road construction, payment of salaries and pensions, as well as provision of other social amenities for citizens.
Today, one way or the other, you have private persons having access to the court to ventilate their grievances in court.
We are progressing because at least we can vote and be voted for.
We now have representative.
For now, you can say your mind, you can speak your mind. You understand? There have been progress, but we are not yet there.
Though not without some challenges, many years after they noted, it's still a work in progress.
We expect that things should be done differently. I expect, for example, that I will sit in my house, and while elections are going on, real-time election results will be uploaded from polling units, ward, local government, and you'll be seeing all this.
The unending task of nation building, they observed, demands complementary roles from both the government and the citizens, as it is believed that the future holds so much for the most populous black nation in the world. From Oka, Benson, Osadebe, NTA News.
Well said, Benson. Now looking at the markets, of course, as the markets are increasingly saturated with counterfeit, substandard and potentially dangerous products, Nigerian consumers face daily risk, not just to their pockets, but to their safety. In this special report, Olayinka Ojo examines awareness of consumers of their rights, where they can seek redress, and how the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission FCCPC is responding to price manipulation and deceptive practices in the marketplace.
Across Nigeria's bustling market is a silent threat of fake goods and business practices that exploit the average buyer. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, says these are not isolated cases. It has uncovered organized cartels working behind the scene to artificially inflate the cost of goods, despite government's effort to stabilize the economy. But when you buy a defective product or pay an unfair price, do you know your rights as a consumer? More importantly, do you know where to turn for help?
As far as I know, with my knowledge, is police. Apart from police, I don't know any other channel.
Yes, I will report to the management of that very particular business.
Peter Agbeje does. He battled with a faulty electricity meter.
When I woke up in the morning, I went to the unit to actually cross-check to confirm whether it is counting. So we now discovered that it wasn't really reading. That was where the whole the fear started from. I said, please, ADC should come and reconnect me back, pending on when they will fix the meter and bring it and install it back to me. So I gave them. You won't believe, this still lingered for good 5 years. What's really paining me most is the billing.
But unlike many others, Peter lodged a complaint to the FCCPC and got results.
Mainly those boys saw the sticker placed there. Immediately, they told me, they said, this one is beyond them, that they are not going to do any issue again. For the very first time that NEPA will call me, ADC will call me, they said, Mr. Mab, are you Mr. Peter? I said, yes. He said, please come and take your meter. Your meter is ready.
Many remain unaware of the Commission's mandate. This knowledge gap is what the FCCPC is working to close.
Every market, basically, will have a team that will be monitoring. Our investigations reveal that there are task force already in the markets, and their job basically is also to ensure that the market works for everybody.
We'll have less friction, we'll have better enforcement strategy.
In a recent engagement with market leaders across 4 major markets in the FCT, the Commission emphasized that protecting consumer rights requires joint efforts of regulators to sanitize the system. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Now, makers of Nivea skincare range of products have introduced Nivea Sun to the Nigerian market. The everyday sun protection formula is suitable for all skin types. Diana Adjali, who was at the launch, reports that lovers of the Nivea brand trooped to the Seoul private beach in Lagos, venue of the event, to test the strength of the new Nivea Sun.
Thank you very much. And unveiling the new sun protection.
Medically approved for the skin, the rich quality new Nivea Sun formula, which comes in a tube with a fantastic and attractive package, provides solution to harmful UV rays with immediate defense, helping to lower the risk of skin cancer, prevent sunburn and long-term damage.
There is particularly no skin reaction for all skin types. It's considered safe and effective.
It's very pocket-friendly compared to any other thing that gives you the same level of sun protection. So will be the distribution availability across the country.
Marketing Director, Central, East and West African regions, and the Activations Manager, Bayersdorf, speak on the uniqueness of Nivea sun cream.
It's everyday sun protection, but the bullseye is 25 to 45-year-old, male, female, suitable for all skin types, whether you've got sensitive skin, dry skin, oily skin combination.
This is the world's #1. It absorbs into your skin so easily, so it gives you that matte feel. So if you have oily skin, you already know that you are covered and you are protected. And last but definitely not the least is SPF 50.
Folakemi Onomade said she has been using Nivea products for over a decade and is ready to include the new Nivea Sun in her cream too.
Recent product I got is the Even Tone, that one with the vitamin C, and it's really, really nice. I trust Nivea products.
Some features of the new Nivea Sun cream include reduction of premature aging, water resistance, and sustained skin repairs,
providing superior daily sun damage prevention without the negative attributes of the sun product.
In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News. The National Institute of Marketing, Nigeria, is organizing a 3-day national conference aimed at engaging marketing professionals and thought leaders in transformative discussions. At an interactive meeting with the media, Registrar of the Institute, Patience Sado, unveils plans for the conference scheduled to hold from 19th to 20th of June 2025. A Mayor Udori's report is here presented. Leveraging environmental, social and governance in driving value across generations is the theme of the upcoming conference, slated to take place in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom state capital.
In your field.
Registrar, National Institute of Marketing of Nigeria, says this year's theme reflects on the Institute's commitment to aligning marketing with digital transformation and long-term societal impact.
This theme is like a framework to give our businesses a lead focus on how they can go about their environment, making the environment conducive for their businesses to thrive, and the social and also the government policies, how they can adopt, how they can actively participate.
We're talking about environment. What are you doing to environment? You know, sometimes when it rains, what do you see? You see all this, our bottles, our plastic plates, you know. If you look at the drainage systems, instead of them going through the channels which have been created, maybe canals and all that, what happens? They gather somewhere. And after rain, what happens? You know, it litters on the street. So what can we do differently to make sure that this can be recycled?
Speakers expected at the upcoming conference include seasoned management consultant Laura Abimbola and a UK-based marketing strategist, Gemma Butler, among others.
For the 19th, we'll be having the symposium, where we also have the induction of associates and full members. And for the first of its kind, we'll be having the inauguration of the Uyo chapter for that symposium the first day. For the second day, we'll be having the AMC proper.
The marketing professional body says it remains steadfast in its mission to uphold ethical standards, build capacity and promote excellence, while serving as a catalyst for transformation in the marketing landscape in Nigeria. It's 2 years of President Bola Tinubu's stay in office. Reflecting on the journey so far, analysts say we'll provide a platform for more comprehensive decision-making process for the administration in the next 2 years, which will round off his 4 years in office. So, Francis Fom in this report reveals performance of the Police Affairs Ministry in the past 2 years and its internal security efforts. Let's see this.
In line with President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, the Ministry of Police Affairs embarked on a comprehensive transformation of Nigeria's policing architecture.
Notable among them
Under the leadership of Senator Ibrahim Gaitam, the ministry has focused on modernization, accountability, and improved welfare cornerstones of the administration's broader security sector reform. One of the landmark achievements is the implementation of the Police Information Management System, a digital platform aimed at enhancing transparency, efficiency, and data-driven policing. This system now facilitates personnel records, tracking of assets, and crime reporting, signaling a shift from analog to digital law enforcement.
In the period under consideration, we have recorded significant strides in the following areas: establishment of National Criminal Data Fusion Center for the Nigerian Police Force, strengthening of West African Police Information System, launch of the Special Intervention Squad, enhanced development of tactical squads, black up of the construction of smart modern divisional police headquarters.
The ministry has also overseen the recruitment and training.
All right, this is News Extra. There's more news in a bit. Please stay. Thank you for staying with us. Now time to talk business, and Benny Adams is ready. Benny.
Thank you, Ari. And talking business, a member of Nigeria's business community, Issa Tafida Mafindi, says 2 years of the present administration and 26 years of a broken democracy is worth celebrating. Tafida says the more than 15 trillion naira and 700 kilometers coastal highway is addition to ongoing investment in blue economy and agriculture is a game changer for Nigeria's economy. And while celebrating the autonomy of the FCT administration leading to laudable project, Mafindi appeals for same gesture in aviation, works and housing, among others.
If the road is accompanied by railway, we can move all heavy things from Maiduguri into the sea. We can create a highway or railway system into Calabar with the deepest seaport in Nigeria. And all the products, all the raw material we need to bring in and export, often we need to an export, will move. So the president is quiet because he packaged a wonderful thing. Let's give him a small chance. It will be done.
And looking at the market at this time, at the end of today's trading session on the Nigerian Stock Exchange, it was a positive deal with an all-time high record of 114,659.11 basis points. This is as the investors also gained 404.58 billion, with market capitalization closing at 72.30 trillion due to renewed investors' interest. A total of 147.1 million shares in 20,538 deals valued at 14.188 billion naira were traded. Now, looking at the top losers, we have ABBDS losing 5 naira 55 kobo, NCR losing 5 naira 50 kobo, while Vitafoam loses 60 naira 50 kobo. And on the top trades at this time, FCMB is on the top spot, having traded 40.2 million shares valued at 410.1 million naira. On the second spot is UBA. UBA traded 36.5 million volume of shares valued at 1.3 billion naira. And on the third spot is Access Core trading 35 million volume of shares valued at 788.9 million naira. That is it on business at this time.
Many thanks, Benny, for those numbers. By the way, beautiful graphics you have there. Now, foremost chartered accountant and former vice president of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, Haruna Yahaya, has emerged president of ICAN. Bolaji Akim reports that the investiture of the 61st ICAN president was witnessed by personalities within and outside the country, including traditional rulers.
The change of baton signifies a new sheriff in town. In the Institute of Chartered Accountants of Nigeria, ICAN, the chairman of the Governing Council and 61st president of ICAN, Haruna Mayaya, will run the affairs of the professional body for the next 12 months. In his acceptance speech, the new president expressed his determination to hit the ground running with 10 strategic objectives that will further expand the scope of the professional organization.
To bring ICANN to our stakeholders, particularly the Gen Zs, and also have more visibility in policy of this nation and international. So we want to bring ICANN to the forefront so that it will be reckoned with based on the standards set by our founding fathers.
Building on the legacies of the founding fathers, which includes unity of purpose and selfless services, no doubt will be an additional impetus for the new president.
The newly elected president will do his utmost best to actually promote the activities of ICANN worldwide, not even in Nigeria, worldwide, inshallah.
So I've advised him to carry his deputy along. It gives for harmony. So when two persons take a decision on a matter, it's better than when one person takes it.
The ceremony was followed by a post-investiture dinner where guests were treated to the classic hospitality of ICANN and the unveiling of the 68th anniversary logo. A graduate from Bayero University, Kano State, and an ICANN fellow, Haruna Yaya, was born in 1962 in Bida, Niger State. In Lagos, Bolaji Akim, NTA.
The House of Representatives has reaffirmed commitment to enacting laws that truly reflect the hopes and aspirations of Nigerians. This pledge was made during the Citizens Round Table organized by the House leadership as part of activities to mark the mid-term anniversary of the 10th Assembly. National Assembly correspondent Mitari Ikme brings us details.
And gentlemen, I think we can...
This roundtable, attended by government functionaries, civil society organizations, and leaders of professional bodies, is part of the 10th Assembly's quest to operate an open parliament that captures citizens' aspirations.
It's been 2 years that subsidy was removed. And as representatives of the people, what have you done to interrogate the savings?
The issues of older persons are being neglected at every level.
Education, health, and agriculture. Is there anything the 10th Assembly is doing in this regard?
These questions elicit responses from lawmakers and policymakers who say they are here to listen and act on citizens' proposals.
The 2025 budget that is have gotten the attention of the legislature to the extent that we included 3.52 trillion naira as the budget for the Ministry of Education, which is the highest. That's never happened before.
On the issue of the fumbling of JAMB and WIAC, the House is doing an investigation to ensure that they get to the root of this challenge.
We focus on making sure that we retain investment, that businesses operating within the shores of Nigeria have a conducive environment.
There was advocacy for decentralization of the citizens' engagement.
Meeting the real Nigerians who are out there in the rural communities. Because that is one way posterity will remember us, but most importantly, it gives us opportunity to really measure whether or not we are effective.
Through such citizens' engagement, the House of Representatives aims to create a more inclusive and responsive legislative process that will truly represent the will of the Nigerian people. From the National Assembly, Mitaire Ikben, NTA News.
Elsewhere, Nigeria has made a strong call for prompt ratification of the Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction BBNJ agreement and a significant increase in funding for blue economy initiatives to ensure protection and sustainable use of the world's oceans. Delivering Nigeria's national statement on behalf of President Bola Tinubu at the ongoing United Nations Ocean Conference in France, the Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, emphasizes that urgent and collective global action is needed to secure the health of the oceans for future generations.
On behalf of Nigeria, I want us all to take bold, urgent action to protect our ocean and prioritize SDG 14 for the sake of our future generations. But they must be backed by political will, scientific rigor, and global cooperation. Nigeria remains committed to working with all ocean stakeholders to advance shared ocean priorities and can call on every state to join us.
Demonstrating regional leadership, he says Nigeria has also spearheaded efforts among West African nations, validating a regional roadmap for development of a proposal to designate a highly protected high seas marine protected area in the convergence zone of the Conakry and Guinea currents. All right, the minister also highlighted several domestic initiatives that Nigeria is implementing to strengthen its ocean governance, such as adoption of a national blue economy policy aimed at incentivizing sustainable diversification into ocean-based industries and development of a national roadmap for BBNJ treaty ratification. All right, now let's look at security matters. The Nigerian Air Force has reconfigured 4 pre-owned fuel tankers into specialized aircraft refueling bases in a strategic push to boost operational efficiency. The initiative, executed under the supervision of the 643 Equipment Supply Depot in Lagos, reflects the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar's resolve to entrench proactive logistics support and deepen maintenance culture, while leveraging innovation and resourcefulness across the service. Air Marshal Abubakar says the newly reconfigured bases are set to play a critical role in sustaining ongoing air operations, particularly in counter-terrorism missions and joint force deployments across the country. Meanwhile, the Nigerian Television Authority, the NTA, has stressed the need for effective collaboration with the Nigerian Army in sensitizing the public on the critical role of the civilian population in sharing intelligence in the fight against banditry in the country. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the Director General of the NTA, Salihu Abdul Hamid Dembos, stated this during a visit by the Acting Director, Nigerian Army Public Relations, Lieutenant Colonel Apollonia Anele, to the NTA headquarters in Abuja.
The Nigerian Army has for decades been conducting internal security operations in different parts of the country. This is to safeguard lives and property, paving way for socio-economic development. To enhance these operations, the citizens need to understand the operations and activities of the Army to also facilitate the provision of intelligence report from the grassroots. This informs the visit of the Acting Director, Army Public Relations, to NTA on possible areas of collaboration.
The essence of visiting you today is just to seek ways to collaborate with you. NTA is our own national TV, so whatever we do as a military, we deem it fit that it should be propagated through your medium, being a credible one, then seek for ways that we could better collaborate, to tell our own stories.
This request falls in line with NTA mandate, and for the Director General, Salihu Abdul Hamid Dembos, represented by the Executive Director News, Ayo Adewoyi, NTA will leverage its wide reach to sensitize the civilian population on their role in fighting the common enemy of the nation.
There has always been that conflict of trust between the media and the security operatives. When we have better understanding, we'll do it better. For us in the NTA, that is what we are established to do. Trust and the ability to protect the national integrity, that is what we are. We study the situation. We put national interest first in whatever we do.
Lieutenant Colonel Apollina Anele, the first female Nigerian Army Public Relations Officer, was appointed on the 22nd April 2025. In Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
In other news, President Bola Tinubu congratulates Amadu Adamu Muazu, former governor of Bauchi State and former chairman of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, on his 70th birthday. The president describes Alhaji Muazu as an accomplished public servant and a frontline politician who has remained relevant in his strength of character and dignified comportment. Recalling that they were governors at the same time between 1999 and 2007, the president says it was a trying period for the new beginning, and that as governor of Bauchi State, his tenure was known for implementing various developmental projects and initiatives that made a remarkable difference in the lives of Bauchi citizens. President Tinubu equally recalls that when the celebrator was the national chairman of the PDP between 2014 and 2015, though his party lost the 2015 presidential election to the APC, He placed democratic values and the strengthening of political institutions in the country above party interests. Another break is due. Please, there's more news. Stay with us. Glad to have you back. Just to let you know that the Nigerian Television Authority will bring you live telecast of the June 12th Democracy Day celebration. The studio will open with Good Morning Nigeria, with live pictures from the National Assembly on the joint session of the legislature and inputs from different parts of the country. Join us. Now, the ECOWAS Court is holding an inaugural moot court competition featuring participants from 8 Nigerian universities. This is part of efforts to familiarize law students with the role of ECOWAS Court and regional governance, contribution to the protection of human rights and economic integration. Judiciary correspondent Austin Ayibe feeds us.
ECOWAS Court of Justice serves as a key judicial organ within the West African sub-region, promoting regional integration, protecting human rights and ensuring adherence to community laws. This it has achieved over the years by delivering landmark rulings that have shaped the legal and human rights landscape in West African sub-region. The inaugural moot court competition by the ECOWAS Court of Justice is an innovative avenue to educate law students about the court's role and equip them with practical advocacy skills and fostering regional legal cooperation. Thus, by involving faculties of law from universities in ECOWAS member states, the initiative seeks to build a bridge between academic learning and real-world legal practice.
And my lord, in this case, the respondent states strongly and vehemently refuse to allow their citizens participate in government by giving a ban on protest.
Spending the total of 9 minutes to address something was what my co-counsel.
President and the Registrar of ECOWAS Court of Justice said they want to build a future generation of legal practitioners that will uphold the philosophy and culture of the regional jurisprudence.
Participating, you are not only honing your legal skills, but also contributing to the development of a more informed and justice-conscious West Africa.
Work with lawyers, and the sooner those lawyers are familiar with the procedure, with the rules, and with the jurisprudence of the court, the better it is. Because a good lawyer do a good judge, a good judgment.
The week-long competition is expected to raise awareness among students about ECOWAS operations and contributions, as well as enhance their advocacy and reasoning skills in law. From Suleja, Austin Ayibe, NTA News.
One captivating thing that happened recently that will not only go down in history, but shall linger in the minds of federal government workers in Borno State is the provision of decent accommodation to heads of federal establishments by the state government under the Zulum administration. Abubakar Musa tells us more about this life-changing initiative. The beneficiaries say they will live to cherish as they continue to serve their motherland.
First time they've offered such gesture to us. Prior to now, we've received houses from the state government.
Asinamai Emmanuel Madu, Controller, Federal Fire Service, Borno State Command, is among beneficiaries of a befitting house allocated to heads of federal establishments in Maiduguri by Borno State Government, bearing his mind on how the development has made life easier and enjoyable for him and his family. The joy of allottees of the houses in Borno knows no bound, owing to the fact that it has addressed one of the most challenging aspects of their lives as public servants posted from different parts of Nigeria.
I would like to thank Almighty Allah for giving me this opportunity to be part of the beneficiaries, and also thank the Executive Governor of Borno State.
When I had this, I was very, very much excited because it seems the governor has the interest of everybody in the state. He is carrying everybody along.
Impressed by the impact the provision of houses is making in the lives of beneficiaries, News Extra crew sought to find out the rationale behind such a mind-blowing infrastructural support.
Provision of affordable housing for all by the Executive Governor of Borno State, Professor Babakana Omura Azum Emana FNSC,
is one of the key components of his 25-year development plan and 10 years transformation agenda.
Provision of accommodation by the state government may continue, especially if the need arises. Beneficiaries of the housing estates say the best way to reciprocate the government's commitment is by putting in extra effort in the civil service, as well as ensuring effective utilization of the facility. There is nothing as gratifying as getting a decent accommodation like this one as a civil servant. As such, the allocation of housing estates to heads of federal establishments in Borno by the state government will surely remain an unforgettable magnanimity in Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
Many thanks, Abubakar. Indeed, shelter is fundamental for a stable and happy life. Well done to the governor there. Now, the pilgrims for this year's Hajj in Saudi Arabia have fully returned to Makkah, having completed their stipulated period of stay at Mina Valley, signifying the completion of the pilgrimage. Correspondent Jamil Ibrahim takes a look at some major issues that characterize this year's outing by the Nigerian pilgrims, which forms the most crucial stage of the annual religious gathering.
The pilgrims' outings at Muna, Arafat and Muzdalifah represent the most crucial aspect of the annual pilgrimage to Mecca. The pilgrims spent a day and night at Mina, proceeded to Arafat the following morning, passed a night at Muzdalifah, and eventually went back to Muna, where they stayed for 3 days, performing the symbolic stoning of the devil. Taking good care of the pilgrims during these crucial moments is a daunting task that the relevant authorities constantly strive to undertake each year.
The management of NACON have done their best in terms of accommodation, feeding. It's my 7th time to come to Hajj. I never see organized NACON like this time around. Alhamdulillah.
Though a very high temperature was predicted to be experienced during the outings, especially on the Arafat day, the proactive measures taken by the Saudi authorities and the NACON have obviously mitigated the envisaged negative impacts of the heat waves on the Nigerian pilgrims.
Allowed people to come out at any contrary time. They came out in a good time, they went and threw stone in a good time, and they came back in a good time.
They have been able to condition the weather, and even with the hot temperature outside, the moment you are within your tent, you don't have any problem.
It was a wonderful experience for the pilgrims.
One area that has always been a great challenge for the pilgrims during the period of their stay in Muna Valley is that of gross inadequate toilet facilities. Though a remarkable improvement has been observed this year on the female side, the situation appears to be different with their male counterparts.
The ladies' toilet, there has been a lot of improvement. The men's one is the one remaining.
What we heard about the toilet is not what we met. We were told it will be full of queue, but when we get here, we are so surprised.
Meanwhile, the NACON chairman, Professor Abdullahi Saleh Usman, who was at the tents of the Nigerian pilgrims in Muna, says all their complaints and observations have been duly noted for appropriate action.
We are working as a team. We are working like one family. That is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless our activities, and we are getting the success. We are now proud of it.
The movement of pilgrims back to Mecca from Muna signifies the completion of this year's Hajj. And the Nigerian contingent now look forward to seeing the commencement of their airlift back home, scheduled for 13th June 2025. From Mecca, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
And back home, the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, in collaboration with some development partners, have trained 511 smallholder farmers in Adamawa State to address challenges of food security. Correspondent Ryan Ubala reports that the training is part of the federal government's initiative on increased food production.
Is among the northern states in the country with fertile land suitable for both rainy and dry season farming that can grow all kinds of crops, especially rice. This necessitated the Federal Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security, in collaboration with System of Rice Intensification (SRI), to train 511 smallholder farmers on modern techniques of rice farming to improve food production.
We need the active participation of the private sector in agriculture. This is the only way we will be able to leverage on their potential, their knowledge, their resources to increase agricultural production in Nigeria.
It produces more rice with less income. And because of that, it's advantageous to farmers, it's advantageous to the federal government, it's advantageous to state governments, it's advantageous to the state, to the private sector.
Most farmers have been complaining of low yield from their farms. But this development have given them an insight on how to maintain the farm.
The farmers commended the Federal Minister of Agriculture, among other critical stakeholders, for such a training that can provide more jobs and address food-related challenges.
I am pleading with the SRI to give more than they have given so far on the SRI spread of technology.
It is expected that rice farmers in Adamawa State will use the knowledge acquired during the training for a bumper harvest. In Yola, Rayanu Bala, NTA News.
Nigerians have been encouraged to be deliberate about using their talents to impact lives even after retirement from active service. The pioneer executive secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission, NCPC, John Kennedy Okpara, was speaking at a courtesy visit to its headquarters in Abuja. Omenka Marachuku completes the report.
Thank you. How are you?
The popular saying that good name is better than riches is a maxim that many have come to identify with. Eric at this event described how Nigerians could leave an indelible mark in the sands of time.
Today, I have come and I could see the glory of God back again. My brother, the new AS, Bishop Adebite, have shown with the chairman, Monsignor Gotan, have shown friendship, love, leadership.
The executive secretary of the Nigerian Christian Pilgrims Commission called on Nigerians to cultivate the habit of honoring whom honor is due while still alive.
Let us build Nigeria together. This is one of the person building Nigeria. So why can we not encourage our own and celebrate our own? I am proud to know him. I am proud of him. And I pray that the good Lord will continue to bless him.
Omenka Marachuku, NTA News.
Let's pause again. The wife of Adamawa State Governor Lami Amadu Umaru Fentere is supporting the First Lady's call to action for sustainable home gardening practices in the country. Simon Asha will tell us more about this.
The program, Every Home is a Garden, an initiative of the First Lady Senator Olorunmi Tinubu, is designed to encourage women to be more productive through home gardening. While launching the phase 1 of the program in Yola, wife of the Adamawa State Governor Lami Amadu Umaru Fentere says the concept is to encourage women to nurture and cultivate their own garden, regardless of the size or location, because of the benefits that are abound in it.
We will tell the whole that gardening in the home is very, very necessary.
When you have your garden, you have a natural food, and natural food is always good. And even then, you economically, you are subsidizing everything because you have them in the house.
I feel very happy. I feel elated.
The wife of the governor, Lami Amadu Umaru Fentere, added that the idea will not only serve as a source of income through sales of excess produce, but will always guarantee fresh food for personal consumption.
It begins with a single seed and a willing heart to inspire households across Nigeria to grow what they eat and eat what they grow. To empower women, youth, and families to become producers, not just consumers.
Cash prizes were presented to women who earlier had participated actively in the program. In Yola, Simon Asha, NTA News.
Let's now take a quick peep at the foreign scene as Kenyan medical examiners have confirmed that suicide was unlikely in the death of a man while in police custody. A case that has sparked protests and widespread anger. Justin Bemunyi has all the details.
Albert Ojwang, 31, was arrested over posts on social media accusing Police Deputy Inspector General Eluid Kipkoech Lagat of corruption. Police initially said he died over the weekend in his cell after hitting his head against the wall. However, government pathologist Bernard Midia told reporters the injuries were unlikely to be self-inflicted. Ojwang was arrested in western Kenya but transferred more than 250 kilometers to Nairobi, without proper orders from the court, the Law Society of Kenya, LSK, said on Monday. Bernard Media said the cause of death is very clear: head injury, neck compression, and other injuries spread all over the body that are pointing towards assault. In other news, Togo's President Faure Gnassingbé is facing growing pressure following a government clampdown on protests calling for his resignation over recent changes in the constitution that could effectively keep him in power indefinitely. Activists condemned the arrest and alleged maltreatment of dozens of people following staged protests late last week in Togo's capital Lomé and on social media. The Togolese leader was sworn in as president of the Council of Ministers in May. The powerful role has no official term limits, and he is eligible to be re-elected by Parliament indefinitely. Opposition denounced the move as a constitutional coup. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
Many thanks, Justin. Quite interesting there. Now let's talk sports.
Right. Okay, yeah, straight to it. Let's begin with football, as after months of football spectacles, the final of the prestigious Biostar State Prosperity Cup is around the corner, with male and female teams in contention. Timini Preoya reports that the grand finale will be watched by the president of the Nigeria Football Federation, Ibrahim Gusau, at the Samson Siasia Sports Complex in Yenagoa.
Over at the end of the year, there's equally an invitation from OTP, the other scouting agency, to play in a Turkish scouting program for youngsters between the ages of 17 and 19. We are equally exploring that. And immediately we round up this one, we start the process of raising money.
Away from football now, the stakes are high and there are no dull moments as Nigeria's #1 junior tennis star, Lucky Danjuma, and Spanish top seed, Oriol Alvarez, progressed to the doubles final of the second leg of the ITF World Junior Tennis Tour in Abuja after beating the duo of Spanish Revilla, Rodrigo, and Nigeria's Afremai Herman 7-5, 6-love, with the conclusion of the boys and girls doubles semi-finals. Some of the players share their experiences so far.
It's nice. It's always nice to get to know new players and know that we have in Africa like pretty good players. The #1 and 2 seed, Yakubu, my doubles partner, and Success. They're both pretty good players, so I was happy to meet them, and yeah, it's been a good week.
It's a whole new experience, a whole different country from Korea. I think the people here are really nice, and every player and every person I met are really kind to me.
As you can see, we as Federation, what we do is to provide a level playground, for irrespective of your country or wherever you come from, to take part in.
Meanwhile, the newly appointed Director General of the Nigerian Institute for Sports, Philip Shaibo, has officially assumed office and subsequently paid a familiarization visit to the chairman of the National Sports Commission, Shehu Diko, in Abuja. The NIS boss also toured the institution's facilities at the Package B section of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium in Abuja.
The Renew Hope agenda will be actualized in sport in Nigeria, and the NIS is one engine room as far as sport is concerned, and that breath of air, breath of Renew Hope for Nigerian sport is what we want.
To know that the leaderships of the Nigeria Olympic Committee and the National Sports Commission have resolved to prioritize podium finishes for Nigerian athletes in various sports with early preparations and proper funding. This follows the strategic meeting with sport federations towards ensuring Nigeria finishes tops in the forthcoming international competitions, including the Islamic Games in Riyadh, the Youth Games in Angola, the School Games in Algeria, Youth Olympic Games in Dakar, Senegal, as well as the Los Angeles Olympics in 2028.
It's a challenge, but the National Sports Commission and the government is doing their best
And we are going to use the private sector again to ensure that the private sector give us their support, the government support, so that we can go for the qualification.
That's a bit on sports tonight. Let's return to your area.
Many thanks, Badi, for the update. His death at a prime age seems painful, but his legacies will inspire generations in view of many lives he touched while alive. That is the story of Anthony Chukwuemeka Ojinta, who passed on recently. Tessio Mary was among sympathizers who bid him farewell and brought in this report.
Late Anthony Chukwuemeka Ojinta takes his journey to eternity as his remains leave National Orthopedic Hospital Enugu en route his hometown of Maku in Ogu local government area of Enugu State for interment.
Anthony Chukwuemeka Ojinta.
At the St. Teresa's Catholic Church, Ajagba Ezoha Maku in Ogu local government area, Reverend Father Geoffrey Mweke presides over the funeral mass.
And this is the will of him who sent me, that I should lose nothing of all that he has given me.
Relieve the anguish of my heart and set me free from my distress. See my loneliness and suffering.
For as in Adam all die, so also in Christ shall all be made alive.
He was laid to rest at his family compound, leaving behind his parents, siblings, his wife, Ifoma Ojinta of NTA, 5 children, and many relations.
He has influenced my life in all forms.
I miss a lot. I miss his love. I miss his warmth.
My husband may have gone early. I spent 20 years with him. It seems like 20 days. I've always said, if given the opportunity, if it is possible, I will marry my husband 1,000 times over.
He's kind and intelligent.
Tony is very, very focused and is exceptionally gifted.
Was somebody who would look out not only for himself, he would look out for others.
I mean, we're going to miss him, but God knows the best.
Late Anthony Chukwuemeka Ojinta started his career in the engineering department of NTA Channel 8, Enugu. He moved to the NTA headquarters, Abuja Outside Broadcast Unit, where he served with passion and commitment. His career took a turn to NASDA and subsequently Nightcomsat as Deputy General Manager Broadcast before his demise. Tessie Omeri, NTA News.
May his soul rest in perfect peace. The families of Alhaji Sule Yaji announces the passing of their matriarch, Malama Umata Aku Okogbune Yaji, in the early hours of June 11, 2025, at Ibodo, Akwacha, at the age of 101. Mama Yaji is survived by children, one of whom is elder statesman Alhaji Sule Yaji, former deputy governor of Benue State, and several grandchildren, one of whom is Abdullahi Sule Yaji, a principal reporter with the NTA. She has since been buried, according to Islamic rites, at Inye Ankwa, Kogi State. And just a quick reminder that the Nigerian Television Authority will bring you live telecast of June 12 Democracy Day celebration. The studio will open with Good Morning Nigeria, with live pictures from the National Assembly on the joint session of the legislature and inputs from different parts of the country. Please join us. And that's our package on News Extra tonight. Many thanks for being a part of it. Do have a good night and, of course, happy Democracy Day in advance.